blessings to everyone. Welcome to another edition of King Talk Tuesdays. I'm your host, Andy King, the show with real views, real news, and real talk. Here on King Talk Tuesdays, we cover so many topics, including education, health and healthcare, economics, spirituality, education, and so much more. I look forward to us all and you all joining us for more dynamic conversations each and every week. King Talk Tuesdays airs live and streams live on our Facebook page every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m., as well as our Facebook page. And we also air every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. on Bronx and Optimal Channel 70, as well as Fire Channel 2136. We are streaming on a number of streaming services such as Roku TV, Amazon Prime, Millennium TV 24, and Clash TV and Apple TV. So we're doing all that we can to get the message out. So we encourage everyone, please to subscribe to our YouTube channel as King Talk Tuesdays. Each channel is King Talk Tuesdays. So please subscribe and so you don't miss an episode. You can also check your local listings to catch any of our previous episodes of King Talk Tuesdays airing throughout the week. I want to thank everyone who's been tuning in to King Talk Tuesdays for the last couple of years. You know what I always say, right? People pay attention to people who participate. So tell a friend, tell a neighbor that King Talk Tuesdays is on so you can drop a question or comment in our YouTube or our Facebook section, or you can send us an email at kingtalktuesdays@gmail.com. Again, our email address is kingtalktuesdays@gmail.com for any questions, concerns, or just a thought. Oh, yeah, just want to know, as Marvin would say, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Well, let's talk about what's going on. There's a couple of things that happened that's really historic. For those of you who were around, and those of us who were babies, and those of us who are here today to experience what the story of we are in the United States of America from 60 years ago. I'm blessed to be on this planet to see those 6 decades. But there's so many of us who've seen 6 decades, 7 decades, 8 decades, 9 decades, and even 10 decades. And for our young brothers and sisters, our kings, our queens, and our princesses and princes that are here today, who are 10 years old, or 5-year olds, who are 15-year olds, there was a story in America where they talked about the ugliness of this country, the civil rights movement, which we came out and we fought. Black people came together, figured out how we were not going to tolerate some of the injustices that were happening. Are we still going through them? Yes, we are. Are we still managing them? Yes, we are. Is the oppressor still the oppressor? Yes, he and she is. But we are still standing strong together and united. And on this Saturday, we are going to be celebrating, but not only just celebrate, I don't even want to say celebrate, not even commemorating, but continuing the fight and the conversation and the march on Washington that Dr. King and NAACP and SNCC and so many others organized to making sure that this country listened to what was being said, to wake up some of our white brothers and sisters who had their heads in the sand when it came to how this world was treating people who didn't look like them. Well, this Saturday is the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington that was established in March of 1963. So we're thankful to the Reverend Al Sharpton and all that are coming together to go back to Washington, to have that continuing conversation, but afterwards sitting down with the power brokers. And I'm saying, if you're a power broker, you're a black man, you're a black woman in government, then you have to be a power broker. You cannot sit there and be the so-called Negro that doesn't do anything to help your people. You have to be there to do something that encourages, that inspires, but more importantly, change the interaction of how blacks are treated in this country, whether it's through reparations or whether it's just some of the engagements of laws from the 3/5 clause, or it's other energies that need to be perpetrated in this situation, that's been perpetrated in this system that's allowed for folks who hurt other folks. We can no longer tolerate that. The devil is always busy, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to be about it, because that's what it's all about. How do we get better together when we start talking about the strength of a higher power? And how do we take that higher power and march? How we take that higher power and talk? How we take the higher power and live? Well, that's what's going to be happening this Saturday on the 26th of August, as the National Action Network is coming together for the 60th anniversary commemoration, continuation, march, and chat and talk, Washington, D.C. So we're asking everyone, if you have not signed up and on a bus, please do so. We know here in the Bronx, there are buses leaving from 161st Street out of the Bronx that morning. I know in the North Bronx, we do have 2 buses dedicated that we're going down. We all full. I'm sorry to say we are full, but there are all buses leaving from 161st Street, and we're energized. We're ready to do our part in history. Let them know that we shall not fall asleep, be asleep, and stay asleep. We're going to wake up and be a real woke person here in the United States of America. So do what you can to be a part of this historic weekend coming up in the United States of America, Washington, D.C. And secondly, we want to touch base on, you know, it's that time again. Today it was a summer day, but it almost felt like a fall day. One of those summer fall days, it was like 64 degrees, 64, 74, 84, but it was kind of chilly out there. Reminds you of when the leaves start changing colors, but more importantly, when our children go back to school. So, with that being said, school starts coming up shortly. Get ready now. Even though we know we have Labor Day right in front of us, that people are going to be off, but school does start on September 7th. So we're hoping that all public schools, that all your children will go to public schools, that you're prepared and ready. There's a host of back to school events that are happening that allow you to get your book bags, get your supplies, and be ready to go. And on the 15th, we'll talk more about this. It's going to be an energized conversation and rally on and be excited to go back into the school building on September 15th and Agus Hayward Playground. But we're going to promote that and let you know a little about that more next week as the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program comes back together to do what it has always do: develop, grow, build mind, body, and community. So with that being said, we're going to jump into tonight's show. Like you see, people expire. I'm excited about tonight's show, and we're waiting for a couple of our guests still to come in and tune in again. There have been some weather conditions across the globe that has hindered some of our transition because we are virtual, but we still got two of our good brothers here that we're going to drop it like it's hot. What do you say? Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. I guess we're going to drop it. So I'm thankful and grateful for these two brothers who are part of hip hop history. When I was, let's see, how old was I? Yeah, I was that old. I was that old when they were doing their thing, and they still doing their thing. So I want to welcome back to King Talk Tuesday, a good man, a producer who knew how to do it back in the day. And just recently for the 50th anniversary, held one of the greatest events. I thought it was so great that he did this event, and the love, the joy, and everyone that was out there performing, it was just a delight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to King Talk Tuesday, my good friend and producer of Rappermania, Brother Van Silk. Van Silk, welcome to King Talk Tuesday.
What up, Andy? How you doing? How you feeling? Can you hear me?
Oh, it's a delight for this. Yes, we can. I love the Van Silk Isaac Hayes look going on. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You talking about
Thank
64
you so much
degrees?
for joining.
You talking about 64 degrees in New York? It was 97 degrees here at 10 o'clock this morning in Florida. Can you hear me?
Lord,
97.
Well, I'll tell you, why don't you ball some of that up and put it in email?
Thank you so much for all your contributions and everything you've done as well.
I can only imagine. Well, thank you, my brother, because you are definitely a fixture and icon in the world of hip hop story. And I'm glad that you're joining us today to talk a little bit about and share what that 50th looked like. But we got to invite our next guest, the first time to King Talk Tuesday. And I know when your knees were working, even when it wasn't working, anytime you felt the groove and you were rocking it, oh, they was making it happen for you. So I want to thank this brother because he always was energized. He has his own story to tell, but I do recall in the days from Evander to my years in college that we were rocking it with this group and the music was making it work and do what he did. So I want to welcome Peso from the Fearless Four, the King Talk Tuesday.
Hey,
Welcome,
what's
my
up?
brother. How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. Hey, first of all, I want to say thank you for this opportunity to talk to everybody. What's up, Van Silk?
What up,
You know what I'm
Peso?
saying? And, it's just amazing how we grew. Step by step, and from our belief and having fun, and now hip hop is just it's everywhere, everywhere.
Oh yeah, it definitely is everywhere. So Peso, we want a little bit about your story. How did the group come together, Fearless Four? And then you had this hit that energized and moved every place you played. If you played it, everyone was jumping up and down. Between that and Herbie Hancock, we was like, oh, okay, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? So talk to us about a little bit about how has hip hop. How were you the part of the beginning days of hip hop?
Well, my beginning days was writing on the trains. So me, Master OC, and Tito, we was train riders, riding on the trains. And when rap started, what I'm saying, like I said, we was riding on the trains. I was in the Bronx a lot. I was going up to the Sparkle, listened to Cool Herc and the Herculoids. I was going to Soundview and uh, Bronx River Projects, listen to Bam and everybody, and that was the beauty about riding on the trains. You could go everywhere, and at the same time, my brother uh, at the time was rapping, hanging out with Kumo D, and they were doing at the Death Squad. Mike C was down with them, and me and my friends, we carried equipment for them, like in the park. So like the hip hop game, the rapping game, it kind of like rubbed off on me. And then one day, Tito was riding on trains and he started rapping. And Tito like, yo, man, you should get into this. So I said, Tito, no, you get into this, and I just be with you, hanging out. You know, because at the time my brother was a rapper, so like we didn't cross heads. And then all of a sudden he stopped, and that's when Tito said, "Yo, why don't you start rapping now? Cause your brother stopped." And then I was like, "Well, I don't know if I'm really good like that." And then Master C, his right name was Rate One, so he had the DJ equipment, so we used to go to his house and stuff, make tapes, and then all of a sudden, everybody like, "Yo, who's that?" Yo, that's Tito. So, yo, that's that's me and Peso, and and it started growing. And then how the group got together, they had a talent show. Tito, Mike C, and DLB was uh was in school together, and my cousin Marky, was kind of down with them. So they did a talent show. So that's how uh that's how DLB and that's how we all got together. But after that talent show, Mike C and DLB, I came to OC house, and then we formed the Fearless Four.
Well, from that time that you formed the Fearless Four, you
Yeah,
guys were a staple now forever in the world of hip hop. That song "Rockin' It" was something that always, when you heard it, the beat was working. So, talk a little bit about, your group came together. The four of y'all were talking. You were on the train. You were carrying somebody's equipment. When you're
yeah,
17 and 18, you just happen to be a part of
yeah.
something.
So carrying equipment was cool because like at the time, you know, they I carry equipment for the Treacherous Street and Spoonie G and my brother and them. So once I do that, that allowed me to be like behind the rope. That allowed me to like the piece their names on the wall at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So and then like I said, everything rubbed off just by hanging out, being up at the Sparkle, uh, being up in the Bronx at Bronx River, listening to Bam and everybody. So eventually, everything rubbed off on me, and like I never knew that things like things would have popped so fast. So and Mike C got us to deal uh, with Enjoy Records because Mike C used to hang out with the Treacherous Three all the time. So the Treacherous Three had they deal with Enjoy Records. So Mike talked to uh, Bobby Robson, said, "Yo, listen to my group, the Fearless Four." You know, he kept bugging him. So finally, Bobby Robson, all right, let me hear something about y'all. So Mike played it, and Bobby like, all right, come in, and I'm gonna put you in the studio, and that's how it all happened. And then our first record was It's Magic. DOB wrote it, and we did It's Magic. The routine was tight, and that record popped off. And then everybody was like, they thought it was a fluke. Even we thought it was a fluke because we didn't think that we was that good. But everybody would say, "Yo, man, you're really good." And then after that, our next record was Rockin' It, and Rockin' It was a combination of Kraftwerk and Rockin' in the Pocket. And DB wrote most of it, you know, and plus I wrote my part, like the intro and everybody, but everybody had their hands in it. And, uh, our music was a group effort, and so when we came out with rocking it, it's kind of just rocked everything, changed, kind of like changed hip hop a little bit, and then from there on, we became the first rap group signed to a major label, and and that was the help of Curtis Blow because rocking it was so big that Warner Brothers went up to Curtis Blow saying, "Hey, who's that group, the Fearless Four? Because we would like to sign them." And then Kirk said, "Well, Peso, we grew up together. We like cousins. So when he came to me and said, 'Hey, one of us want to sign to y'all,' I told the group we was in the fever. So I told the group. The group really couldn't believe it. And then Kirk got us all together, told us the deal, and then everything started happening, you know. And then we did Problems of the World and all that. And like I said, watching hip hop grow to where it is now is just amazing, you know. It just keep growing, and it's keep growing. It's you know, and that's the beauty about hip hop because it's everything. It's graffiti, break dancing, and all that. So the elements, like I said, I came from right on the trains and went right into hip hop, rapping on the mic, and only because I hung out with a lot of rappers and I watched a lot of, been at a lot of parties with the Herculoids and everything, Cool Herc and Herculoids at the Sparkle, Cedar Park, you know what I'm saying, and and just and one of my friends, his name was At One. He was a rapper, but he was riding on trains and he used to rap for Pete DJ Jones. So sometimes in the Bronx, you know, we hanging out, we riding on the trains and stuff on a Saturday. You know, we be on the bench, and then At One said, "Yo, let's go up to the park. You know, let's leave the train station, go up in the park over near Mitchell because Pete DJ Jones is playing." So I used to go with him, and then I was watching him hit the mic.
Okay.
I I watched him hit the mic, and then like I'm like, "Yo, man, that's nice, that's nice." It's just like there's a combination of so many people, me being around, made made me who I am, and what I did, I took my
Wow.
graffiti
So
name,
let's talk about. You said people you've been around.
yeah.
Uh huh.
So my graffiti name,
So you say you've been
I
around a
took,
lot of people. So I know I gotta
yes,
ask because we got a gentleman that's sitting here waiting to jump in, and I want to bring him in because I know he's been around. I need to know what his story is with him and what he's always doing and producing. Van Silk is in the house. So Van Silk, welcome to King Talk. Pastor, you heard Perso talking about things. We got some sticky again. We got some weather issues, but talk about it, Van Silk. Pesos and the Furious Four been doing their thing. Talk to, and then I want to get into what you just did for the 50th hip hop. Talk a little bit about the relationship that you have with Peso and this group.
Well, when I first met Tito when they had their first record. Um, and then we started doing shows with Mike and Dave in Harlem and Harlem World and stuff like that. They had their first song, and then they started getting shows downtown with Lady Blue down at the Roxy's. I think it might have been one of these shows that they did. But we always had a great relationship with the Fearless Four, and I always took to these guys because I always felt, them in the Treacherous Street have like a family unity in the Cold Crush Brothers, like a family unity together. So, and besides Peso being a graffiti writer, and he's the most instrumental member in the group as far as keeping the name alive, as far as the Fearless Four.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, we like that. We're like he's keeping the name. We're keeping the name, and keeping it strong. So Listen, we're going to be going in half in about in 8 minutes. So I want to know from you, Peso. You know, you told us your story. What does the world look like today as far as the world's hip hop for you? You know, and how you engaged today?
Was these new artists is well, to me, I kind of like them a lot, right? Because like I said, I was a hip hop fan before I came a rap artist. So so by me listening to what's going on now, I'm back being a fan. And one thing about being a fan, you know what I'm saying, you could listen better, you could adjust. And that motivate me, to write new music, with the new artists. Uh, uh, I really don't have a problem with what they doing because they doing what they feel, and that's what we was doing. But what I don't like about the artists now that there's a lot of violence. They're hurting each other. Like back then, when we battled, we wasn't hurting each other. We was just battle, and then we had some after the battle. You know what I'm saying? In front of the people, you know, behind the scenes, we hanging out. We hanging out, drinking some beer and stuff. It was a good battle. Let's do this again, but let's do it over here now. It That's what kind of bothers me. That when they have they beef and they battle, it's violent, and I wish that changed. But the talent is there, and we didn't have a lot of females back then, but we had very good females. Now there's a lot of females and they're very good. So um, the state of hip hop is I think is great because I got nieces and nephews that rap and all that stuff, and they come to me, and that what made me change, change my style and learn this new flow. So now my new music is a combination of old school and new school. I call it bridge rap. You know what I'm saying? Because when I play for people, it sounds new, but it still got that little touch of old school.
Well, I'm glad that you put a balance to it. Because last we were having the same conversation with some others, Tony Crush and Easy D, AD, and we're having this conversation. Al Pizarro just talking about what today's music in comparison to what hip hop originated from escape, messaging, love, joy, hang out. We cool, we bros, we sisters, and everything is good. While today you shared about the lyrics of violence and how we hurt and destroy one another. But how do you put a rhythm blue mix to it? Well, continue the vocabulary that allows to show love. So I appreciate you pulling that all together as you're pulling it on. But we're about to go into a break because we got Van Stilk. We want to know what he did on the 50th anniversary. And we have a special guest that's sitting backstage. But before we go anyplace, I just got to give tribute to Fearless 4 because we were definitely rocking it. You were rocking it. We were rocking it. My knees still feel it because I was rocking it. So,
Yeah, yeah. And once again,
so let's
I
do
like
what
the
we do. Market. Make sure that you show up and be there and go there. Again, you're watching King Talk Tuesdays, the show with real views, real news, and real talk. I'm your host, Andy King. We're here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. We're asking you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, King Talk Tuesdays, so you can watch all of our previous episodes. But we also air every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. on Optimal Channel 70 as well as Files Channel 2136. We also are streaming on a number of streaming services such as Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Roku TV, Millennium TV 24, as well as Clash TV. If you have a thought, a comment, or concern, you can send it to us on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. But you can also email us at kingtalktuesdays@gmail.com. Again, our email address is kingtalktuesdays@gmail.com. As we all know, for those of you, I say thank you who have been tuning in for the past couple of years. But we're at halftime at King Talk Tuesdays. And one of the things that does happen during King Talk Tuesdays halftime is that we offer a little prayer. And as a former basketball player, I always got to stretch it out and make sure I shoot it up to the stars and make sure my basket lands in the hands of Christ, or I land in the hands of Christ, because of all the things that are happening in this world. There are great days, there are wonderful days, there are beautiful days, and there are days that are challenging and they're trying, such as we've put together this wonderful format to talk to folks, share information, and sometimes, and there's other things that get in place of us delivering to how we want to deliver. But whatever's delivered is supposed to be delivered at that moment in time for you to persevere. Whatever your life challenges are, it's a learning testimony for you to tell the next generation of how to push through things and the elements that are in this earth today. So we want to offer prayer to everyone today for your health, for your strength, for your to gain wisdom, but more importantly, love and forgiveness to able to move forward. The good book tells us, Christ tells us, how can we ask for him forgiveness for each and every day, but we can't forgive the brother and sister that walks with us every day. So I'm asking us all, do all that you can to find your center space, because the world's been crazy for the last couple of years, between pandemics and sickness and illness and economic strife. But right now, we got to do better with each other. As a good man told me, we're better together. So I ask you to send a prayer out for yourself, for your friends, for your neighbors, for your community, for your frenemies, your enemies or your frenemies. Do whatever you need to do to be stable, because nothing lasts forever. Everything's temporary on this earth. Everything's temporary in life, even life itself. So I pray to you for us all for better days together, and for the enemy, we're just going to say, hey, I need protection and prayer from the enemy. And your enemy might be your brother and sister, pray from, but those that set to destroy, they get their reward. So with that being said, we want to jump back into the second half of King Talk Tuesday, the show with real views, real news, and real talk. Want to give a shout out to a couple of people who are tuning in tonight. I want to thank Pastor Deborah Jenkins for saying hello and tuning in tonight. Thank you, Sister Jenkins. God bless you, and I pray all is well. Also, we got to give a salute. What Brother George Jazzy and Acosta got to say? He's saluting all of you pioneers who've made things happen throughout the year. And of course, there we go. Clash TV, Vesalente says salutes to the legends. We want to salute the legends and be well. So again, for all of you who are tuning in, from Sandra Dale to Tish Bizzo, and I just want to say thank you, Ed Papers, for all the work you've engaged in the world of hip hop. And Bethany Palmer, keep on doing your thing on your radio show. So God bless us all. And let's jump back into the next episode, next conversation of King Talk Tuesday. We want to bring back 50 years of hip hop just happened. 50 years.
Yeah.
50
Andy,
years just happened. And there were people there from the beginning. And Van Silk was one of those who did a wonderful event at Mill Pond Park. And he had the legendary, the first ever female woman of the mic who did it right. Sha Rock was in there doing what she did as a teenager, and we're so thankful and grateful that she's joining us tonight. Let's bring Sha Rock in the house. What's up, Sha?
What up, what up, what up? I'm in the building. Yo, it's been crazy right now. I know I look crazy. It's hot down here. You look 108 degrees every day. I'm looking kind of crazy right now, and I'm on my phone, man. What up, Silk? Hey, Peso.
How you doing, Shy?
Yo, I'm sorry, guys. It's crazy. I had a late filming, so I'm sorry. What's good, guys?
Listen, we're glad that you're in the building. Yeah. That's all that matters, that you show up.
Yep.
That's all that matters. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right quick. Time is moving fast. I know you're moving and grooving to the next thing. Van Silk did an event August 11th, 50th anniversary of hip hop, the birthday. Talk to us. What was your motivation? What did you do? How did it do? Talk to us.
It was so much stuff. Can y'all hear me? I'm in the car. Yeah. I had to pull over. I got an hour to drive. But the thing is that I thought it was a great event, of what Van Silk did, University Hip Hop Museum, all around event. It was free for, a lot of the hip hop enthusiasts to come out and just enjoy. It was the first time for me that I've seen a lot of my compadres together. I missed the performance, of the Fearless Four, and that's crazy. But my thing is that I just appreciate everybody, that has contributed. We all have. And it was just great, being in an environment where everybody is there for one thing only, and that is to celebrate the culture and each other. And it was a wonderful event. And then, of course, the KRS-One had his event, on August 12th. You had LL Cool J's event, in Queens, the Rock the Bells event, and Yankee Stadium event. So many different events is going around, celebrating, of hip hop culture. And I'm just glad to be here to be able to see it.
Talk about being here. Van Silk brought so many people together to be here for that day. Van, talked about what was that event for you? What was your motivation? Because you're in Florida, you flew back up to New York. Talk to us about your purpose for pulling this all together.
Right now, I'm not feeling good right now because I'm gonna see if I can. It was a good event.
It was,
and I'm glad everybody was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, to me, that event was like a family reunion.
yeah.
Because I saw everybody from doing hip hop, the artists, the fans and stuff, and I ran into a lot of people that uh, bought my music
Oh,
and bought the albums. Say, hey, sign it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like awesome, awesome. And I want to thank Van Silk. I want to thank Rocky, and I want to thank Red Bull for putting all this together because it
absolutely.
was big time. It was fun, big fun, and not only that, it was no incidents. It was just love, real hip hop love. Like, you know what I'm saying? No incidents, no nothing crazy, no
Yep.
cops,
I'm
nothing.
glad you
Everything was smooth.
I'm glad you said that. For all our listeners and all those who tune in who want to figure out what these conversations are like, that's what hip hop was about. It was full of love. And as
Yeah,
you grew older, the love didn't change because your economics got different. Your love was still in you. Today's children hip hop music. And you know what? I had a conversation with Rocky and a few others like we should not call it hip hop music because hip hop music didn't destroy. Hip hop music, it elevated, it
yeah.
embraced.
It-
So if the music that's being put out today, because they're rapping, hip hop doesn't have to claim it. Give it to somebody else. Call it another genre, whatever y'all want to call it. Trap, kill somebody up, whatever y'all want to call it, and let that money go that direction. But hip hop music, hip hop money has to be something that's more dedicated to uplifting and empowering those folks who are enjoying the culture. Nothing more, nothing less. Van Silk, all I can say to you right now, because I embraced that day. I love the moment. I thank you so much. Matter of fact, can we just all give Van Silk a hand? Come on, we're gonna salute you right
Yes,
now.
yes,
We're gonna
yes.
give you a hand
Thanks,
right
Respect,
now,
man.
Van Silk.
respect,
All our
respect,
people, let's give it up to Van Silk.
respect, respect.
Respect,
I,
yeah.
I just want to say thank you to Shaw Rock and everybody that came out to perform
Yes.
from Melly Mel Scorpio, the Public Enemy, and all the groups that did perform, the graffiti artists that was out there, and also to not take away anything from Chaos One Central Avenue Block Party, what Ralph McDaniels was doing, and what Yankee Stadium had going on, and there's still events going on as we speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
True.
it was just crazy. Yeah,
And I ain't forget Rock the Bells. Let me not
yeah,
forget Rock the Bells,
yeah,
LL now.
yeah.
I
And,
mentioned
and
them.
what to me, uh, hip hop to me is like my church because you know what? I meet everybody from different languages, different races, and like we connects. We connects with hip hop, and hip hop always been my church. When I was riding on the trains, I'm uh, uh, riding on the trains with guys that didn't know English, but we knew each other
Hmm.
from riding on the trains. You know what I'm saying? Because of the art, and that's the thing about the elements of hip hop, breakdancing, graffiti, everything. You know what I'm saying? The rap, the DJs, it brings everybody together, and we know how to speak to each other without speaking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Hmm.
So,
Agree.
that's
yes,
about Shaw. I want you to come in because we've talked a lot, and I've listened to you profess the culture of hip hop, which Peso just tapped in. Because when I listen to this generation today, who are they're not into the full culture. You have a set and set who understands the culture, who engages in it, but those who are being propped up through mainstream, how often do you see the culture being reflected, other than some other message that's being delivered through the medium?
Well, I think, basically a lot of times, we like to say, or, to the young generation that came after us, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not doing this. But it's up to us to educate, and so if they don't know about the core elements, and just may one element is put in front of their face, 24/7, it is up to us to educate them on exactly what these core elements are, that encompass what hip hop culture stands for. And so with that said, I mean, look, we need to start talking with them instead of at them. Just educating, just letting them know, listen, this is what happened. Now they don't have to follow in your footsteps, but as long as you are educating what this culture means to us or to you, or what those core elements is, that is the only way that we can move forward as a community, a hip hop community. And once you give them that information, then only then you could say, you know what, you're not respecting what it's meant to be. But unless they have the education and the knowledge, you can't hold them responsible, because that part of the culture is not being pushed. Just the rap aspect of the culture is being pushed.
Valid point. So I'm glad you touched on that, because when it comes to the elements here, it seems like that's where, quote unquote, the money is. So if I'm not getting any money for breakdancing, I'm not trying to be a breakdancer. If
But
I
but let
can't,
me also say, there's money in every last single part of the culture. There's money. The money has never stopped. What you if you take a look at the DJ culture is alive. The MC rapping culture is alive. The b-boy, b-girl culture is alive. So much alive that it is going to the 2024 Olympics, right? So the beatboxer culture, so those culture, it is alive. But you cannot separate one without the other, without saying that this is what encompass what hip hop culture is. You understand? So they know that these elements are alive, but sometimes as hip hop culture, they only celebrate one of those elements and call it hip hop culture. And rap is leading the way right now. You understand what I'm saying? As being summing it up for hip hop, in general.
Peso, you had something you want to chime in with?
Yes, and Shyrock is right, and when we first started, that all was together.
Mm-hmm.
When we came to park, carried equipment to the park and all that, the break dancing, the graffiti, everything was together. You know what I'm saying? And when I go overseas and do shows, that's all together.
Right.
That's all together. They do the whole
Package.
thing. Yeah, they put the whole package together, and not only that, they have a section right with the graffiti artists and the DJs. They teaching kids.
Mm-hmm.
They teaching them, as how to write, how to DJ. They teach them how you want to be a rapper. They have sections of that, you know, within a festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went overseas, and like the funny thing was, I was in Germany. I was on doing some shows, and then they had canvases. They had some graffiti writers, and then I'm like, "Yo, hit me up with some cans." They said, "Yo, you write?" I said, "Do I write? Here's some cans. I'll show you." So I hit I did a piece, I did a cartoon, and they were like, "Oh man, we didn't know you was the same peso that was right on the train." I said, "Yeah, I'm the same peso. Ain't nothing changed." You know what I'm saying? So, but they do everything. They put it all together, and that's
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
what's different here. Because as we got bigger, the people who had the money and the strings, they broke us up.
They
They
broke you up.
separated
And
us.
we're going to take a quick break right now, because you just talked about kids. You talked about how you took this talent and now you're educating, and then that's a delightful thing. So we want to hear a word from a youth group that's doing some wonderful things. And we got to bring you on and help them understand their rap game and their artful graffiti game. We'll be right back from a word from the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program. Oh yeah, building mind, body, and community. That is the motto of the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program. 18 years in the making, doing what we do. Loving wife and I, Neighbor Sheila for a King. We did our thing. The Most High in Christ pulled us together to do the work that we've been doing with our young people. So I will love, and Shah, you've had an opportunity to talk to young people. Peso, we got to get you down there from that way of the mountain land that you up there with the mountain lions and maybe back
Yeah,
and talk to our young
For
people
sure, for sure.
what
yeah.
the, what the arts are like. So talking about young people, how do we bring now? Let's not even just talk about the music and the artistry today, but as pioneers of hip hop, how do you transition your experience to young people today from the culture of yesterday?
Well,
Well,
it's
yeah.
uh,
But basically you got to just really like talk to them direct. You know, a lot of the young kids out here, they don't want to hear all that scribberish stuff. They don't want to hear all that technical stuff. They don't want to hear all that college stuff. They want to know the real life stuff, what you went through, how you maneuver throughout life, because that's what they're dealing with right now. They don't want to hear all that stuff. So unless you straight up with them and you tell them this is how it is, this is what I went through, and you could connect with them on that level, only then you will be able to get them to open up and listen to what you say. Because if you're not connecting, you're not connecting. That's the bottom line.
Connected. Sound like if your lyrics were off on your beat, no one wanted to hear what you had to say in the
You
part.
just got to be real, man. You just got to
yeah,
be real with it, but on the same time, offer them a solution, to the problem, and show them a way out. You can't
Mm,
say this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. You got to be able to show them at the end of the road, there's a solution to the problem. And if you're not coming like that, then you just talking for nothing, because it's going through one ear out the other. You got to be able to connect to the youth today, because how we was growing up, these are different times. They're offered so many different more things that we were offered growing up. So you got to be able to relate to them on that level, but keep a level head at the same time.
level head. Peso, how's your level head?
and mine's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. I had I went through a lot of I say anger management, because I was like, a fly off the head, and another reason why, uh, well, like me moving up here was good for me, because at the time I was still wilding. Even though I was with the group, I was in the streets, and I was getting high and all that stuff, and the group didn't like that. So I tried I tried a couple of rehabs, and I kept walking out because it wasn't for me. So what I did, since I had a little money, I moved upstate, and I moved up there, and I said, look, let me get some time by myself. I figured I moved up here, bought a car, chilled out. It took me about 6, 7 years to fix myself, and then instead of me moving back down to the city, I stayed up here, bought a house, and
Good, good.
yeah, because
You
because
needed
being
that time. Yeah.
yeah, and everything changed when I came up here. I even started smoking cigarettes. Everything just
Wow.
shut down.
And
Wow.
I'm glad you're able to talk and share your story, because when you talk about the music industry, everything is fast paced.
Yeah,
And in Shaw, you said it best. Kids want to get straight to the answer. They don't want to walk through the bumpy road to find out how do you sustain the answer. It's like building the scriptures say you can't build. You have to build your house on a rock, not on sand. And so many kids find themselves building their houses on sand, and then they fall because they didn't sustain it in a rock. And that
Right.
means learning the process of going through. I can tell you my story, but I can't rush it and tell you my story, because there are certain steps that you're going to have to go through in life. Certain steps you're going to go through in the industry. There's certain steps when you guys drop some lyrics, y'all are taking us on a story and a journey that kept us listening. So how does this generation today think they can all just go from, I want to be a rapper and I don't want to put no time. I just say it's like Stephen Curry. You want to be an NBA player. He spent about 30,000 hours shooting that 3-pointer before he got on the court. You just can't just go on the court, start launching it up from half court, think you're going to make it. So what advice would either one of you give the people who will want to be in the industry today, and how can they protect themselves from the pitfalls of the industry so they can build their house on that rock?
I think it's very important, for young teenagers, or even people who want to be able to get involved in anything. They must always do their research, and they should also listen. And a lot of times, what they have right now is more than what we ever had. Social media is there, so there's no reason for anybody to be going through anything that they ain't supposed to, because the education, the research, everything is there at the back of their call, to be able to just research. So what I say is, just put a team together. Make sure that you get under somebody's wing who's gonna sort of kind of take you, through the paths, maybe just a little bit easy. A lot of times you're gonna go through some stuff, but if you find somebody that could, really school you on some of the things to help you go in the direction that you need to go, then they would have to just listen, and hope that they're giving that good advice, and surround yourself around people that is looking out for your benefit. You really have to watch your circle. You really have to watch the circle and the people that you around. Hang around somebody who want more out of life than you want out of your own life, and that's how you're gonna get ahead. You understand? Because that'll be a learning lesson for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me. I told I told him, like, look, go to school and get your education. You know what I'm saying? Because without your education, whatever you do, like if you want to be a rapper, a DJ, you need something to fall back. So education is a must. And uh, I did that with my kids and stuff too. So like I've been lucky because by me, uh, making mistakes and all that. So what I did with my kids, I taught them not to make the same mistakes, you know,
Absolutely.
that I made. And then sometimes, sometimes I talk to other people, kids. They'll come to me and say, "Hey, you talk to my kids. I got problems with them." And I talk to them and I tell them, I say, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? Going this way is really not the right way, because you know what? It's gonna get you locked up. It's gonna get you, in jail and stuff like that. And like you don't want to be there. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So this way is a better way. It may take longer, but it's safe. You know what I'm saying? I said it's safe.
Cosign.
Well, I like what you said, because the road of success is not a sprint.
Yeah,
It's a marathon, and you got to
yeah,
be able to sustain all those things that come. And I will add, you mentioned something about something to fall back on. And I always suggest to young people, you should have different plans,
yeah,
or different thought process of how do you get certain places. Because I never want people to say, if I can't do this, I can do that, and then they don't put it all into the first thing. So how do we, in the game of education, because education, if you don't have a vocabulary, you can't get on the microphone and say anything anyway. You got to be able to, people act like, you
yeah,
get on the mic and say, what, you mumble rapping now?
yeah,
You got to have words. You got to use that means something. So yeah, being educated in the rap game, and like I say, I listen to Shaw's lyrics, I listen to your lyrics, Rakim, and I love his lyrics, and being able to give a story and tell us something,
yeah.
the other than just having us jumping up and down. So I applaud both of you. But we're about to ready to wrap up on King Talk Tuesday, because time flies by super fast. But I want to know, 50 years of hip hop we're in. I'm gonna start with you, Petso, and then I'm gonna end with you, Shaw. Where would you like to see the tomorrow of hip hop go?
Well, I would like to see uh most of our most of my people stay the artists, the break dancers, the graffiti artists. I like to see them have a more how you say,
Inclusive.
yeah, inclusive ownership.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And instead of being like a puppet, but uh, uh, have your own business. You know what I'm saying? It's because a lot of us, that started this, we don't have a lot of ownership of it. And that was because back then we didn't know, but we was excited. We had fun and all that stuff. We didn't know like the things that we know now. So since we know it now, we need to teach them that whatever they do have ownership.
Okay. Ownership. Us owning the game, not being played by the game. I feel you. I feel you. Shah, final words. Talk to us about what does tomorrow hip hop look for you?
Tomorrow, hip hop looks for me in the next 50 years, and Peso, you and I may not even be here to see, that next 50 years, But one of the things I'll say is that we're lucky, we had the best of both worlds, we had the 50, So for us, like the first 25 was the magic year for us. You know what I'm saying? Because you're talking about that homegrown hip hop, that we lived, sleep, and drink. But with that said, I would like to see, all of the elements, that solidify hip hop culture being respected and celebrating. And when you speak of hip hop, you speak on those elements, and you celebrate those elements, and you celebrate, the people who help create this $1 billion business, and the ones who are continuing to inspire and create. I also would like to see, for people, nobody owe us nothing. You don't owe us nothing. But if you say you love hip hop, right, and you had the advantage, of being financially, stable, with this culture, and it took you to a whole nother level, create a fund, create some kind of fund, for the pioneering first 10 years of some of the people, that help you create this $1 billion business. Not everybody one of the things that was told to me, during this celebration was, Sharak, even if you don't, be on one of these shows at Yankee Stadium, you'll still be celebrated in the Universal Hip Hop Museum by having your picture on the wall. This is what was told to me. Have my picture on the wall. So I thought that was very disrespectful. Shout out to the Universal Hip Hop Museum, but they can't put everybody's picture on the wall. You understand what I'm saying? So with that said, I would love for people to say, if you love hip hop and you repping hip hop to the fullest, then you have to create some kind of fund to benefit those people that helped created this culture moving forward, because one day the people that are there right now that may have considered us old school, you're going to be old school one day, and you're going to need that fun. You're going to need that fun. So if you say you love hip hop culture and you respect it, I don't just want to see my flyer or my picture on the wall. Cut the check.
I love it. Well, we're going to end with that. We're going to end with that.
You're right, Shara.
So let me tell you this. Let me tell you, y'all know I don't hold no weight, right?
You got 30 seconds.
So let me with this 37, there's so many different corporations out there. It ain't even got to come out of your pocket.
Yeah.
All of y'all could get together with many different corporations and say, I'm doing this for the 50th anniversary of hip hop culture. I'm going to donate to the first 10 years or 15 years of hip hop. Give back to the community. That's how you show your love for hip hop culture.
I love it. I love it. Let's cut this.
Stop playing with me.
Stop playing. Thank you both for being on tonight's show. Listen, we're looking forward to getting you back. We're going to have some more backstage conversations. We're sorry that Kumar, for all of you who are waiting to see KRS-One. He has some challenges. He's moving and grooving. But we know that he'll get back to us, and we hope to have him.
He did. He'll be back next week. He'll be back next week.
Beautiful. So, as we always do on King Talk Tuesday, we end every show with a scripture. Tonight's scripture reads from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 and 10. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. If no one told you today, God loves you, and so do I. Your friend, your brother, and your neighbor, Andy King. Hey.